So the 11th of March of 2012, around the world, there's massive protests. Now, we've got our good friend. Someone just mentioned that you had a good voice too there, Karla.
Oh, they're very discerning.
Oh, no. Gerrit from the Constitution, how are you, son?
Good morning, and good morning to everyone in the studio, and of course to the listeners also. Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Now, Garrit, you haven't been arrested yet. You fundamentally go through the courts, and you put your rights up for the Constitution.
Yeah.
You've had an interesting year. What would be the most interesting thing of this year of what happened? What happened with your speeding fine?
Well, with my speeding fine, for example, they said they issued a warrant in September.
Yeah.
I have challenged them that if they take me to court, I'm sue the hell out of it. It was not a court hearing, and what I've done is I've done the counter-offensive, as every citizen should do. Not say we just accept the nonsense they give us, because governments are more and more going to terrorize us. So what I do is I do a counterattack, and I'm saying, look, you dare to do anything against me, you prove that there is a warrant, because if the sheriff comes down and he's going to act against, and then it shows that the warrant was in fact legally invalid, he's in big trouble, because if he knows on forehand that he's warned that it may be valid, his duty is to check that it is a valid warrant, not issued by a computer by a private company. So, and that is what I think it is, that if people were to be more alert about their rights and stand up, we can stop governments to terrorize us.
Yeah, and have a participatory democracy, actually.
Exactly.
Stand
because
up.
those politicians in the parliament, they are supposed to represent us. But
they're the administration, aren't they, Garrit?
Well,
so we're supposed to send them notices and tell them to piss off.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we had this Barry, who's now the Premier of Victoria. Before he was elected, he was all about law and order. When he gets elected, he is about face, really, and couldn't give a damn about law and order.
No.
Because, it's all money now for him. He needs the money, and he doesn't give a damn about people's rights. And it's about time we say to those politicians, you do what you're supposed to be doing and represent us, or get out.
Yeah, give them the sack. That's what I reckon. Yeah, if you don't play the game, you've been arrogant, you've been sort of greedy, and you've been a bit public bashing. I think would be the best bet.
Oh, not violence.
No,
what
sorry.
I would like
I just
to
get upset
see,
sometimes.
and I've been campaigning for that for the last 14 years or 15 years, is that politicians go into the parliament on the basis of what they said during the election, and if they go against it, then people, 10% of the people who voted him in, can petition the court to get him kicked out, and then the politician who's kicked out has to pay for all the cost of a re-election. Now, the moment we put that in, then those politicians will become a lot more honest, because they will not make all those nonsense like Julie Garrett saying no carbon tax and then put it in anyhow, because then people can throw it out, or any politician who lies.
Yeah, and personally they have to foot the bill.
That's right, because once
so we can do that. We can at the moment petition.
Yeah.
Right at this moment, we can petition to have Judy Gillard out.
But regretfully, it is so difficult, that system. We need to put a better system in, a system that you and I don't have to spend a penny, and I've been always promoting the office of the Guardian to do that, an impartial body that will be directly under the Governor-General or under the Governor.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's the Governor-General that holds the whole cake.
Well, he is supposed to be in charge of the federal government. It's not the Prime Minister.
Well, she can sack the this is the powers, the veto powers, the powers to be. She can sack the Prime Minister.
Oh,
the Governor-General...
The Governor-General's got too much power. Actually, are they illegally to put in there? Who voted them to be our power?
No, let me explain, right. The Queen appoints the Governor-General to represent the Queen. The Governor-General then cannot run the whole country. So what the Governor-General does is appoint advisors. The advisors are the Prime Minister and the other ministers.
But what do you think, Garrit, that 200 years we've been babysitted by the Crown, not the Crown Corporation of London, but the Queen? Do you think we should just give her the boot and get rid of the Governor-General? I mean, what is the Queen there for anyway? She came over and I saw her with Julie Gillard, and they're doing some sort of occult ritual about the carbon tax because of the green fascism that they pushed through. And not for you greenies out there, I love you greenies and everything else, but the Prince Philip is the one, remember, who started the Green Party in Tasmania, the first one. We should give the Queen the boot. What is she there? Is she a public servant, or is she just?
No. Let me.
I know you love the Queen, Garrit.
No, Jack. Let me explain something. Right.
I want to go back to the
we
petition.
need a person who is political impartial. That's what the Queen is
Neutral.
supposed to be. She's not to take sides.
She's
If you're
not
gonna get a
politically
president-
impartial, though.
Come on, she owns Rio Tinto. She's
She's
got shares
not
in there.
politically
Yeah.
impartial.
She sells uranium to India.
Exactly.
Jack, I'm
Who's supposed
aware
to be
of
on
that,
our
but-
side?
But she must, for us, the Queen technically represents the people.
Well, she doesn't represent shit. What she does, I'll tell you one thing, she comes out every Christmas and annoys me. She goes, oh, fantastic. And it's like this royal thing. Come on, man. It's just an oligarchy family.
What do you mean
Controlled by
technically?
the Roths.
What do you
If
mean
take- if you
technically
take Italy,
represents?
how many elections they have and everything else,
What's
the
the
problems they
technic?
have, I think we were better off with our system. Even so, it is rotten, or in many ways corrupt, but we need to improve it. But to go to a different system that's even worse, then you lose everything. Because now we can say, well, we've got a constitution, we've got embedded legal principles, and we can fight on that, and I fight on that. But the moment you start going to a republic, and so you lose all those embedded legal principles.
But
and
why?
then the court will say, well, you accepted the republic of the rot what was there, so now you're stuck with it.
Well, you say that the judges have more power and stuff like that. Why is Republic bad? How come, the Republic of Ireland, Republic of the
Why
Empire?
can't we have a constitution in a
Why
republic?
don't we have the
Why
Bill of
can't we
Rights?
have embedded principles in a republic?
Why don't we just... Yeah, the Constitution was written by the Queen anyway, with her
Now,
Masonic brothers.
And now, Jack, the problem is that we have currently judges in the High Court who are appointed on a political favour of a government, judges who... one even admitted it. He knew nothing about the Constitution when he was appointed to the High Court. Now, how stupid is that? They're not trained for it. That is like a child from kindergarten put in charge of a factory and says, well, you run it.
Well, that's exactly right. But Garrett, when we go to court,
Yeah.
it's been prejudged anyway. Because the fact is, if you really go to a court, you have 3 judges. Isn't that the real court? When we go in there, we get represented, and it's already played out. The theatre's already done. It's like administrated law. This is what I've been learning. What?
Jack, let me
It's going
make
too
clear,
far,
right?
Jack.
I
Sorry.
once went to the High Court in
But it's just a
1995,
fix. Yep.
showing that the judge had made the orders the day before the hearing.
Wait, so you went to a high court in
To the High Court.
1995 in Canberra or in Melbourne?
Now, that was in Melbourne section, in the Melbourne Red Street, at that time in Queen Street, now
Right.
it's in William Street.
Right.
I went there,
Jack's
showing
grilling
that
you.
the judge had issued the orders a day before the hearing. You know what Dawson then said?
What?
He said, well, there must have been a mistake.
Of
That's
course.
all he said.
Bloody law.
Now,
Love
I
it.
prove, therefore, that you're wasting your time going to court in a sense because the judge made the orders the day before the hearing. So, And that's
Exactly.
not the first time. And that is the problem we are having. So we
Yes.
have, in particular when people are not legally represented by lawyers, right, and that because they trying to basically screw everybody, saying you have to have a lawyer, which is wrong. You don't have to have a lawyer. But the thing is they making one club for the lawyers, and if you take them on, then your decision is already made against you before the hearing starts. And all they
Exactly.
do during the hearing is trying to pick up issues they can use to validate the orders they have already issued.
So what do you call that, Garrett? A fix?
Well, to me, that is corruption.
Well, it's corruption at its
And,
best. I mean,
you
it's a
know-
fix. It's like I'm going to make a decision before Karla gets in here, what she's going to say, and then it's going to blurt it out.
Yeah.
Karla does
No.
the same way, taking
right.
it on
Now,
the other side.
would you-
Karla.
However, once
Look, I once had 5 different versions of one court order. I contacted the registrar about it and I said, look, how can it be 5 different versions? And he explained to me. He said, well, the typist may think that the wording is incorrect, so she changed it. I then check it and I find it's not right, so I change it, and on I go. So you get 5 different versions where, for instance,
that's participation.
what each week, for instance, the order was made each weekend. In the end, it turned up to be each alternative weekend. Now, moment. To me, that is not a correction of words. That is a change of orders. And this is the rubbish that goes on. And we people should no longer accept that. And we should say, listen, those courts should operate impartial, right? Not on the favor of the government, impartial. And we should kick the lawyers out of the courts.
There you go. We're going to start our own political party here on Radio Skid Row on Workers Radio, headed by Karla.
It's the Direct Democracy Party.
Hopefully Karla will not be bought.
It's deeply constitutional.
Yep. So hopefully Karla will not be bought and sold while we put her out there on the firing line. She might have to step on.
No, it's actually Jack who's doing this.
Well, no, actually, we'll both do it, and then we'll
we'll stand jointly.
Yeah, we'll stand.
Karla, what do you think what I said?
About what?
Just before about
I'm
the
still
lawyers and about the court pre-ordering and everything else. What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think?
Yes,
about
but I mean that's fine. I don't disagree necessarily, and I've always encouraged my clients to represent themselves, and they've always done very well in that way. Because the judge, while he's explaining law to them, actually has a sort of personal relationship with them, whereas otherwise they're just sort of funny-looking things.
Well, it's a tennis court, isn't it?
However, what I'm really interested in is if we can start a petition right now to get rid of Judy Gillard.
Yeah, but Karla, can I say something about the court, right? In 1985, which is 26 years ago, I designed a document called Address to the Court. So what happened is a person who has no knowledge about court system, but who is facing a court case, I or someone else can type up the whole legal argument for that person. The person files it in court before the hearing, and then the judge cannot stop that person saying anything because it's all written down in written submissions. Actually, Justice Lindemeyer, when he had one in 1994 on the 20th of June, he actually commended me for that, and he said he wished that every barrister was going to do that because it gives other parties a fairer chance to know exactly what's going to be argued.
Yeah, what we should do is we should run workshops for people, yeah?
Yeah.
That's what we should do. So next year, from January on, I've got your details, haven't I? Somewhere?
Yes, you have. I can
think
give
last
them to
time
you. Actually,
So
plug your details out there.
We are going to hold workshops where people can actually, educate themselves in this respect. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we will advertise those workshops in the actual court system themselves and to whatever.
All right, Garrit, give us a plug.
We'll get it out there.
Yeah.
Give us a plug, mate.
You want my details?
Yep.
Well, you go to Schorel-hlavka.com, and which is SCHOREL hyphen HLAVKA.
You had to put a hyphen in there, didn't you, Garrit?
You have to put a hyphen there. And actually, Jack, I had yesterday two people calling me about our February conversation.
What, me and you?
Yeah, between us, because it's on YouTube, and somebody put it on YouTube. And I had two callers yesterday saying, they love what we debated.
Oh, that's good, Garrit.
You're getting out there.
We've been debating all year. And do you celebrate Christmas besides the Queen?
Well, sorry?
Do you celebrate Christmas? Are you a Christian, brother, or are you
a
pagan?
I was baptized Christian.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
also partly Jewish.
Which bit?
But because I...
do you go to synagogues?
Years that I represent people, I also represent people who have no religion or have from Islamic religion. So I always try to be impartial in religious matters.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Good on you. Do you go to any synagogues or,
I've been to synagogues. I've been to churches. My wife goes to a church.
Do you wear those hats, Garrit? What are those things on the top?
They're little cabbies.
Yeah. Do you wear one of those?
I have one.
Oh,
do you?
Awesome. Garrit, have a very Merry Christmas. We'll hear from you from the new year. Hopefully you won't get arrested.
And we will run these workshops.
Well, the thing is as I said, Jack, before also about, before they came on the program, right?
Yeah.
We have to stand up for our political and legal and civil rights.
Yeah.
Like Wendy's Ella Jones, I've never listened to his radio, but I hear now that there is problems against him because he doesn't invite maybe all views, but you know yourself, you do this radio show. Sometimes people say something for or something against. You can't always balance your programs. As a presenter, should have your political liberty that's enshrined in the Constitution. You cannot have a government dictating you how you have to do your program because it's beyond your ability to do that. Because whether Karla or myself, we may say something. How on earth are you going to suddenly have someone else on the contrary for it? I mean, that's nonsense. I hope that people will support your program too, listening to it, in years to come. And with Christmas, think about what you and I and everybody else discuss on your program.
Yep.
And that they realize that your program is really very, very important, and we need to keep that liberty.
We do. And we will keep it to the death.
All right, thanks, Garrit. Have a good Christmas. Good pagan holidays and everything else. And God